Welcome to another edition of the SprintCarUnlimited.com deep dive presented by Entrust IT Solutions. Joining us on this week's show is Huset Speedway and Jackson Motorplex General Manager, Doug Johnson. Before we get to Doug, don't forget to check out Entrust IT Solutions. Entrust is a full-service technology company serving small and mid-sized businesses in New York, Pennsylvania, and surrounding areas. The staff at Entrust IT Solutions takes a personalized approach to technology. See why customers are choosing Entrust IT Solutions as their technology partner by scheduling a free consultation at www.msp-entrust.com or by calling 717-292-8868. And now here's Doug. How you doing, Doug? Welcome to the deep dive.
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate it. Obviously, you guys are going to take center stage over the next, probably 8-9 days. And
it actually starts tomorrow. I mean, we've got, a weekly show here coming up, this Sunday, and then it's something going on pretty much every day for the next week.
How do you, before we get into your history and kind of how you've gotten to this point, what's the turnaround like? And what's a weekend like this leading up to the Huset's High Bank Nationals?
Well, I think a lot of it's preparation. We've been preparing for this week for probably the last 4 or 5 months. A lot of the stuff that I do on a weekly basis is just, trying to get all that done and in advance and then having everything ready to go. I mean, this being our third High Bank Nationals now, kind of have an idea what to expect and what, can go wrong and what can go right. And you just kind of take notes every year and try and live and learn and make it better, bigger and better every year. But, I feel as a team, I think we're as prepared probably as we've ever been for this event. So it's, like I said, we've got great people here, great staff, and that really helps, make my job a lot easier. So I think just being prepared and getting stuff done in advance is the biggest thing that I've seen, where we've probably come a long ways and learned from our previous mistakes.
Hours from a Sunday to a Sunday in during the season normally compared to this week. What's the discrepancy in hours? And sleepless nights.
Yeah, I mean, going into next week, I mean, none of us will get much sleep just because of the track prep and all that turnaround. But I mean, I'm typically at the racetrack from sun up to sundown, throughout the entire season. So, this week coming up will be a little bit different. Actually, my wife and I have our camper out here, so we'll probably just stay on premise, the entire week just to make it easier. I only live about 15 miles from Huset Speedway, so it's not that far a drive anyhow, but it just makes it easier for all of us. We all, a lot of our employees have their campers here for the week, and that just makes it a lot easier and a lot nicer to get things done and gives us, if we need to get away for an hour just to get away from people, we got a place to go and go sit in your camper and get away, but it makes it nice.
Well, we're going to go back a little bit. You're a 3-time National Promoter of the Year, twice 360s, once 410s. 2020 was 360s, 2022, 360s and 410s. But what is your earliest memory of being involved in racing? Was it as a kid? Did you go with your parents? How did you get involved in this sport and grow to love it?
Yeah, exactly. I started going to races with my parents. I mean, I grew up in Jackson, Minnesota. So what you did there on Saturday night is you went to the races, and I started doing that as early as I can remember, probably 4 or 5 years old. My parents were huge race fans. They were really never involved in racing other than just being huge fans. My dad didn't race or anything or even own a car or anything like that, but he grew up, I think he told me that he went to I think it was the first race in Jackson in 1954 and Wow. Didn't miss many since then. So, we would go to our ritual on summers, were pretty much, we would go to Fairmont on Friday nights, Fairmont, Minnesota, Jackson Saturday night, and then we'd either come to Huset's or Hartford, South Dakota on Sundays. And we did that for a lot of years. And, once I got out of high school, I just developed a very serious passion for sprint car racing, and I wanted to be involved in some way, shape, or form, and just kind of back in the day, kind of started taking photos, just with a little Instamatic, when I was a kid, and just that's kind of where my passion grew, and a lot of the history was very intriguing to me, so I just kind of, I worked in sales, for a long time, and before I really got involved in the, sport racing professionally, and so it's kind of come full circle now, I would say.
When you say you were in sales, was that outside of racing or was that in racing?
No, that was outside of sales. I was actually I worked for a couple different newspapers,
Oh,
different ad agencies. Sold print advertising for quite a few years, and then actually before I started working for Todd in 2015, I actually worked for a company in Worthington, Minnesota that produced recycled plastic lumber. And so I traveled the country with them for about 8 years, and was a traveling territory manager for them. So I was on the East Coast a lot. I had all of Canada was my territory. So I traveled a lot for those, probably 3 to 4 of those 8 years that I worked for them, and got to see a lot of the country. And I would try and schedule my meetings around big races. So I mean, I got to go to Williams Grove and Lincoln for the first time because of that job. So it was kind of cool. But I think I went to Williams Grove 3 times before I actually got to see a race, because it rained out every time I was there, or was gonna go. So and I got to travel to the West Coast quite a bit. I didn't get to see many tracks in California, but I traveled the country a lot and got to see a lot of the U.S. and a lot of Canada, and made a living doing it. So it was a good learning experience, and I think it kind of set me up for what I'm doing now.
so how do you end up working for Todd Query? How do you guys know each other? I mean, because I know Todd. Todd's an interesting cat. I've had him on a deep dive. So how do you end up working for that guy?
Well, it's really a funny story, because Todd and we grew up about 5 miles from each other as
Oh,
kids. So our families, live 5 miles apart. And actually, a funny story is, my family, my dad farmed, grain farmers, and so Todd, and I joke about it. One of the first jobs Todd ever had was working for my dad picking rock, in the fields. So him and I did that together for a few summers, and we played baseball against each other. He went to Wyndham High School. I went to Jackson High School. So but we still lived 5 miles apart. So our families knew each other, and over the years, after we graduated college, kind of went our separate ways, and Todd started Big Game Tree Stands, and I moved to Sioux Falls at that time, and I've lived out here ever since. And so our families have known each other, and I've stayed in contact with Todd over the years. Especially when he had Big Game and owned had a couple race teams. So we've just always stayed in touch, because we had a lot of common interests. Like I said, with racing and baseball, and I know my family, his mom was actually working at a clinic, I believe, and so our mothers knew each other really well, and living in the same community. So yeah, we've been good friends and neighbors for a long time. So that's kind of how it all started.
okay. Who's a better baseball player?
Todd was. He played in college. I didn't. I was going to, and I tore my knee up between my junior and senior year in a baseball game in Marshall, Minnesota, and tore my ACL. And after that, I never had it reconstructed back then. I wish I would have, because I just had a knee replacement here a couple years ago, and just because of that injury. But I really didn't start playing baseball until my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
And I was actually, back then I played basketball. That was my number one sport, was basketball. And I was going to play that in college, and that didn't pan out, especially after the knee injury. But I really took a liking to baseball. I ended up pitching for a couple years, and but I never played past high school. So Todd at least played in college.
Well, we'll say you're a better basketball player.
That could be, yeah, for sure.
Because I know he was athletic when he was younger.
Absolutely. And it shows both of his boys played baseball and were really good baseball. Taylor and Andrew were really good baseball players as well. So it definitely runs in the family.
So you ended up working for Todd. What was the first gig? Was it GM of Jackson?
Correct. Yeah. It's actually, I reached out to Todd in 2015 when he announced that he was taking over Jackson. And, I started, I think, in November of 2015. And then our first full year of racing Jackson was 2016. So I've been with him ever since.
That had to be special for you. It's where you grew up, going to races, that area. That had to be pretty special. And then he makes it over. He does a makeover. I mean, totally changed everything. Now that had to be not so good because that was probably a lot of sleepless nights as well.
Yeah, it was, but it was changes that were needed. Really, when you look back, the only thing that is still there from, prior to 2015 is a concession stand. I mean, pretty much everything else has completely been revamped, from the grandstands to the lights to the, even the track service has been redone and shortened. And, I think it's so much better now. You still got your diehards that, complain that they like the old half mile at Jackson, but it was just, the racing wasn't that great. It was just a motor eater. I had so many teams say that Jackson was the hardest place to gear a motor for, just because of the long straightaways and the tight corners. And, I think that what we have now is just, it's a testament to what Todd has done in the racing world, and, the changes he's made. I just wish we could get more people there. It's so tough to draw, fans, in a small community like Jackson. But, we've tried everything. When we first started out, we ran, sprint cars, and then we ran 2 nights a week. We actually ran Friday and Saturday night for 1 year. And then we tried running sprint cars with the IMCA stock cars and modifieds. And there isn't anything, I don't think, that we haven't tried at Jackson over the years. But I think we've come to the realization now that, it's really tough, I think, and we're seeing this from other tracks in our area too with the weekly program. It's a tough draw right now to race weekly. We can do it at Huset's, I feel, because we have the population base here in the Sioux Falls market to draw the crowd. But I think you get to these smaller communities of 3,000 to 5,000 to 7,000 people, and it's just tough to draw a crowd every single week, week in and week out. So I've seen other tracks here in northern Iowa that are struggling right now with the weekly shows. And, so I think that's kind of the niche that we found with Jackson. We're just, looking at promoting, bigger special events. And that's probably the way it's going to be, moving forward with Jackson. And, hopefully we can keep the weekly programs going here at Huset's, because, man, this year you look at our car counts are phenomenal, so, it's just, now we just, got to draw the people to help support that and keep it going.
Look, I beat this drum in Central Pennsylvania, and Central Pennsylvania is the biggest sprint car area in the country. I think there's no doubt about that with the number of fans and cars we have and just the condensed area. And I think weekly racing struggles here, and for a number of reasons. So I can imagine. I've been to Jackson. It's a beautiful facility. If people get a chance to go up there, I was up there for the Jackson Nationals the 1 year, and it's fantastic. But I agree with you. Special events I see sprint car racing going to that eventually, except for maybe a few speedways. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I kind of think you're right. I think there's a few markets where I think we need the weekly racing around here to help support our sponsors, our billboards, our suite holders. Todd and I talk about this all the time. At Jackson, it's really kind of a supply and demand is so huge because, like this year, we've got 6 races on the schedule, and right now our suites are pretty much they are sold for every event.
Wow.
In years past, we've never had that. So when you look at it from that standpoint, from a business standpoint, and that's what people don't realize. we run this as a business. I mean, this isn't no nonprofit, like maybe back in the VFW days, people still think that, it's true because, I mean, you have to run a racetrack as a business or you're never going to survive. And, to have that demand now for our suites, is what we've been working for. And we didn't have that before when we'd run, 15 to 25 races a year. The demand wasn't there, so now it's, like I said, our suites are sold out for every event we have there. And, now I think we can just continue to grow that and maybe add a few more events, next year if we can get the scheduling right. So, yeah, it's a tough gig, and especially in the small markets. Jackson's a town of 3,300 people, so you don't have a lot to draw from. Where the Sioux Falls market, we're talking in and around Sioux Falls, we have 300,000 people here to draw from. So, just the difference in population makes a huge difference in, your weekly shows. So, yeah, it's definitely a challenge, but, we'll just keep plugging away and like I said, hopefully continue with those special events at Jackson.
Welcome to another edition of the SprintCarUnlimited.com live show. Thank you to everybody who's joining the chat. Obviously, Eric is divided tonight. He is producing 2 shows, so we don't know how this is going to go. He might put us into a modified feed or something else. Maybe who knows with Eric? He does NASCAR. He does everything. So we're going to get through this the best we can, and let's start firing away. Who's your Kramer Clash winner at Lincoln this weekend? Well, I don't know quite who's going to be there because I believe Port Royal's running as well. They have Huset in town. Again, not sure where Chase Dietz is going to go. You would think he'd go to Lincoln. Casey Kane's done in the Macri car now, so when does Anthony come back? I'll go with Chase Dietz. I think he goes to Lincoln. It's time trials, and I think he wins it. Have you heard anything about Atomic Speedway? Actually, it's what I was doing before I came on air. I see the All-Stars just moved the final race of Ohio Speed Week from Atomic to Wayne County. Yes, there is a lawsuit by I believe the First National Bank of Waverly, I think it is. And I have the screenshot on my phone. I believe that's what it is, though. And I think it has something to do with, obviously, that lawsuit. I know Charlie Vest has been putting videos out about the good racing, this and that. I think probably to curry some favor, which I wouldn't blame him. But obviously there is a lawsuit by the First National Bank. It's over $1 million, slightly over $1 million. And I wouldn't doubt if a farmer, maybe Rich Farmer, who runs the All-Stars, probably wanted some kind of payment up front just to solidify that the drivers were going to get paid for that last show. And I'd be willing to bet something was missed, and it might not even be that. Might be concerned over the lawsuit, might also be, worried about getting paid. And All-Stars weren't the only ones to cancel a show. NX Legends had a 3-day nationals in October. They have also canceled that. So problems at Atomic, and we'll see how it all plays out. I know there was a release on Facebook today that basically I'll read it to you. We aren't done fighting, trying to keep Atomic Speedway. Also look forward to welcoming the Lucas Oil Late Model Series on July 3rd. We hope things change for the better and want to thank Lucas Oil Late Models for sticking with us. So not a good situation, obviously, and it could be the All-Stars just got cold feet, worried about, Saturday's show. That would be my guess. I have not talked to Rich Farmer yet. They are racing tonight. Hopefully I get a call after the races tonight. Glad to see Doug Hammaker get a win in Sandy Klein's ride. I started rooting for her and that team after listening to your deep dive. It was good. I think it's not even just the win. Doug Hammaker's last year, his average finish was 21.6. He struggled. They made changes coming into this year. They got a crew chief in Kyle Diffaball, and now their average finish is 14.2. So that's dramatic improvement. Yes, the win's big. He didn't start on the pole. He had to pass some cars. Does it help? Obviously, that some guys weren't there, maybe. But still, that doesn't take anything away from it. They've made strong improvements. They're better in top fives this year. They're better in top tens already this year than last year. Everything looking up at on the 22 car with Doug Hammaker behind the wheel. Brent Marks is getting hot at the right time before all the money races begin. Do you think he wins a $50,000 to win or more race? Well, if they have one at Skagit this weekend, that's where he's going to be. They play six figures. You have to consider them, obviously. And then, of course, you have Kings Royal. I don't think they'll make it back from Montana for the show at Lincoln over Speed Week. The only way I could see that happening is if he flies in. It's just that's a tough ask from Big Sky Speedway in Montana. I could see him winning at Texas. I could see him, Eldora. It'll be interesting to see him at Eldora because he was really, really good there. Now that he's back on track, so to speak, we don't know what he looks like there. He hasn't raced there since he's been back on track or running well. So I could see him doing well at the Kings Royal or Joker's Jackpot. Do I think he wins it? I mean, he's not my first choice for those events, but he definitely has a shot. A better shot than he did, say, 15 races ago. Everyone is calling Timms a threat this weekend, and he is, but he also isn't. I don't know if he is or isn't. He can't qualify Husets, but he races as good as anyone. It's going to be tough with a point system in place if he can't qualify well. You're gonna have to at least be. You can't time 25th. Okay, you're gonna have to at least top 10, top 12, get some points in your heat races, things of that nature. So it's bad if you don't qualify well because you're giving up points. And I think there's a few other guys I would take over him. Obviously, Buddy Kofoid is the clear-cut favorite. He's won 5 out of his last 7. I think Sheldon Hodenshield is equally a threat. He's won this race before. He's looked really good as of late. I think Gravel's always a guy you got to consider there. I think if you're looking at the locals, and I think if you're looking at guys who maybe could win that $100,000 bounty, so to speak, I think, yes, Ryan Timms definitely hops off the page, but not one of the guys I'm considering in, say, the top 5 favorites. I was at Pocono yesterday, and there were some concessions that cost as much as weekly dirt track racing ticket. Do some fans forget how good we have it as fans as costs are concerned? I've talked about this a lot. Yes, I agree. And that just as a person who's covered other sports and professional sports, it's kind of a slippery slope. I understand both sides. Race fans have been spoiled a long time with costs and how much it costs to get in. It's always been reasonable. I think when they started going to $30 shows $25 and $30 for a weekly show. I hear very little complaining about an outlaw show or a high limit show or a crown jewel race. All the complaints in at least central Pennsylvania seem to center around the weekly show. And when you're raising the price to get into $25 or $30, I don't think it's so much about the actual $30 as much as it is we're paying more for the same guys. We're paying more to see the same guys race. And I think that's a big part of it. And, you're right. You're not wrong. It's a lot more expensive to get into, say, an NFL game or buy concessions at Pocono or even a NASCAR race, even though they've drastically lowered those prices. It just, people are not happy about the $5 and $10 increases for the same guys, the same local show. I think that's more the problem. But I understand both sides of it. Do you think Tanner Holmes' win saved his season driving the 13 car? No, I think there's still a lot to be determined. Did he earn that win? Absolutely. Did he do a really good job? Absolutely. I would never take anything away from him and what he did last week. Do I think that means he'll be back in that car next year? I don't know. Only Boot can answer that. I think there's a lot of season left and a lot can happen. So I think it was a good win for the team. I think it shows progress. I think he earned it. It wasn't circumstantial. But again, it's a long season. Anything can happen. In this sport, anything can happen. Without picking Buddy Kofoid, who wins the High Bank Nationals? We just did our picks. Ryan and I have Sheldon Hodenshield to win the High Bank Nationals. I have Buddy Kofoid to win the High Bank Hustle. Now, in all fairness, I can only pick a guy once a week. But I think Sheldon Hodenshield looks really good right now. He's pretty good at Huset's as well. That team seems to be hitting on all cylinders, so I like what I see from them. I think Sheldon Hodenshield is looking really good. You got to be careful. David Gravel's on a 10-race losing streak. At some point, he's going to bust out of that. That team's too good. They're too fast. The equipment's too good. David's too good of a driver. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins one of those this weekend either. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Those three guys are the ones I think everybody's chasing. How much do the drivers get for making the A main on Thursday and Saturday nights? I was looking that up, and it's so hard to find. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and scour the internet. I can't find what start money is. So if somebody can pull that up, somebody who's not answering a bunch of questions and post that, I don't know what it pays to start. Do you think Anthony will be back this or next weekend? I think he'll be back for Speed Week. I don't know about this weekend. Still got to get cleared by a doctor. Thoughts on Williams Grove canceling? I knew this was coming. Thoughts on Williams Grove canceling this past Friday? A business decision not dictated by weather as posted. I don't have a problem that they canceled. I have a problem that they didn't tell you the reason and threw it on the weather and the heat. First off, if it would have been a Speed Week show, would they have canceled? Absolutely not. So it's not a heat problem. And as far as the weather apps were all over the place. There were some saying 30% chance, and really a lot of them went down significantly as of Wednesday night. Thursday morning, because I was looking at 3 or 4 of them. So just be honest and say, look, we had guys out of town. We were worried about the attendance. We had a bouncy house that we could because they had fan appreciation. They had a bouncy house that they could get a refund on if they canceled early enough. Some other odds and ends. Just be honest. Just be honest. Because the backlash when it doesn't rain, and it's really not that hot, and there was a nice stiff breeze, the evening was fine, that's way more fallout than just being honest. Just be honest why you did it. I don't even care that they did it. I just care that they lied about it. So, 2,000 to start Thursday night. Thank you very much. Looks like a bit of a questionable weather forecast for Brandon, South Dakota on Wednesday and Saturday. Do you know if they have any plans to place if it holds true? I do not. Last I checked, it was good. Don't ruin this for me because I leave tomorrow. I've been looking all week, and now I honestly, I didn't look yesterday, and I didn't look today. I like the forecast I saw 2 days ago, which was no rain. So that's disappointing. Hopefully they can get it in and there's no problem. But no, I've heard of no contingency plan. Still a couple days out. I mean, the weather could change. What are your thoughts on Andy Pake? He drove away from gravel in the heat race at River Cities and also finished second last night at Huset. I have taken notice to Andy Pake. He has improved. I'm anxious. He's one of the guys I'm anxious to see this week, how he performs. Does he make the A main? It's going to be a stacked field. I know you have a bunch of guys going to Super Dirt Cup. I'm anxious to see how he does on a big stage. He's looked good at Huset's, and yes, I saw him at River Cities as well, and that surprised me. So I like what I see. He's a young guy, and we'll see how he does. This weekend could be a guy to watch just as a guy making the A main. I don't think he's going to win the race or anything like that, but I think he could, put together a good week and kind of put himself on the map, so to speak. So anxious to see how he performs with the bright lights on this week at Huset's. Didn't Atomic have issues getting drivers paid end of last year too? Yeah, there was something with the 32 team driven by Bryce Lucius. It was STP Motorsports. There were transfers, made at certain, texts weren't answered. It's just a whole thing. They ended up getting paid. I don't know. I don't know what ended up. It seemed like it got resolved. This is a whole different animal, though. You're looking at a bank loan that's a little over $1 million. That's hard to make up. And I don't for a racetrack, short of the Kings Royal or Knoxville Nationals or an event like that, good luck. Hopefully everyone can attend the USAC races in PA this week. Definitely an underrated week in the state. Yeah, I mean, I like those events. They don't really take hold in central PA. That's why you have 410 sprint cars on most of the races. Williams Grove, Port Royal, at least at the sprint car tracks. It's just not a non-wing area, but it's a nice break. I also think it's a nice diversion from what's coming up next. We have Pennsylvania Speed Week where you're going to see 10 nights of winged racing. So I like this week. I'm not going to be here for it because Huset's is going on, but it's a nice diversion. Something different. I always like that. Change of pace a little bit. Real nice. Most of the guys who run that series are really good to talk to, and I always enjoy covering them. Been great lately to see Flo putting up live and free full night sprint car racing on YouTube. This is great for promoting sprint car racing to new fans. Should Dirt Vision be doing the same thing? I don't think it would hurt to do at the very least some live look-ins or maybe up through the heat races or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what Flow benefited from it. I don't know if they have. There's been no indication. There's been no indication if it's working or not. So I can't really answer that. In my mind, I think it's okay to give some stuff away free. Once in a while, I give stuff away free on the website. I don't think it hurts. I wouldn't give away everything all the time because then people expect it. But, I know, as somebody just said, Dirt Vision does do qualifying. Give people heats once in a while. Wouldn't be bad. I think they're both making money hands over fists, so I don't think it's hurting them that they don't do it. Let's put it that way. High Limit should sponsor a car for the Knoxville Nationals. Make Johnny G say the name. That would be funny. That is funny. Weird Dark feature last night. Confused drivers. What was going on? Look, well, everything seems to be. So I might as well address this now. Obviously, because I don't know if our phones are coming up or not. Because, like I said, Eric's doing 2 shows. So I'm not going to ask him to do that. But we had the deal at Southern Oregon, and there was an obvious scoring issue. Sanders led lap 26, according to my race pass, and I have the screenshot. Not just, it was the whole field. It's by 0.010, I think it was. And the announcer said James McFadden was leading. And so I don't understand that. And then their rules say they have split scoring. So when a caution comes out, if they come by the flag stand and are scored, whatever cars come across, boom. Now that could mean their position changed and the lap isn't scored, which I've seen places. Lincoln has done that in the past. I don't know if they still do. Or you score the lap when the leader's hit. If you watch lap 27, Justin takes the lead clearly in turn 1 and 2. It's not close at the line. And he comes around and they get to turn 1. And he's ahead. They passed under the flag stand. Robustelli, who brought out the caution on the front stretch, I didn't even see him in the frame. And they threw the caution. Justin should have been out front according to their rule. It's under a letter E in their rule book, small letter E, underscoring or what it was. I don't know the first subsection it's under, but I read it and that's how it's scored. But he was put back. They went to lap 26, which my race pass said that Justin was leading, but they put McFadden out for it. Was just, come on, guys, come on. And then they had an issue, I guess, with a heat race, a lap or a push truck, and it was during James McFadden's lap, went across the track, which is an automatic yellow. I don't care where the car is on the track, it's an automatic yellow. If it's in front of where the car is, now I guess he was going through 1 and 2. It happened in the truck went up in 3 and 4. If it's in front of, if McFadden's through 2 and a truck goes behind them and goes across to pick up another car or whatever, depending, that's at Grandview that happens. Okay, but, and then I guess he didn't time well, and then they went back and gave him another crack, and it was a whole, look, I've said this about NARCO for I don't know, it feels like years. I don't know what's going on there. It just looks bad all the way around. It's and the series is never going to change until they stop that stuff. It's plain and simple. I don't know how else to say it. And I don't care, no matter how you look at it, even if you believe it's just mistakes, which I do not, the scoring issues, I don't know how you do that. I don't even know how that happens. Well, my race pass isn't working. I do know Joseph Terrell, who writes for me, asked Scott, I believe Scott Woodhouse is his name, asked him about it, and he said, well, we had our own scoring in the tower. Well, what scoring was that? Because if you look at the photo and stop it, it looks like Justin's ahead. Now, I don't know where their loop is, but it doesn't matter if you're using hand scoring. If the electronic is saying it's 0.010, then that's who's ahead. I don't understand how that gets messed up. So I don't know if they had race monitor. I don't have race monitor. To me, that's archaic at this point. And they have my race pass. So why would you use it? So it's a cluster. In my opinion, it's a cluster. Narc is the greatest series going these days. So much corruption and evil. I love it. Sugar Bear changed his name. What's the icon? What's his picture have up there? What is that? I don't even know what that is. All right. Sugar Bear Trucking. What drivers should we be looking for to do well at Huset's? Oh, I just hit on him. I think Buddy, Gravel, Sheldon. Don't sleep on Carson Macedo. He has a win there, and I know he's very up and down, but he's been pretty good lately. He has 3 wins in the last 4 weeks. He won 3 of 6 going into Knoxville. Didn't look bad at Eagle, but he had the Ford in. I think he's a guy who could slip in there, maybe surprise some people. Because I don't think Huset's is a place where you look at him as being real strong. Don't sleep on him. To me, I think Super Dirt Cup might be more wide open. And then I say that, and somebody else comes up and wins Huset's. I think Ryan Timms has a crack. Outside of, I like Justin Henderson to have a good run in the McGee car. The McGee car runs well, a lot of speed there. He knows Huset's. And I'm not saying win, but maybe a top 5 or something like that. But the guys up top, Sheldon, Buddy, Gravel, maybe Macedo. Those are the guys who I look to win. Watch Bill Baylog too. Baylog had a great High Bank Nationals week last year. Finished 6th at the Memorial Day show. Don't forget about Baylog, which I almost just did. So I could see a good run out of Bill Baylog this week as well. For the USAC show at Port Royal, why not start hot laps sooner since it often runs late with both winged, non-wing sprints, and Silver Crown? I have no idea. It's one of the reasons I don't go to that show. I'm usually not here. I just can't. I don't know. Can't have these shows go long anymore. People don't want it. Listen to the customer. So I agree with you. Has there been a welfare check on Dr. Midnight after the Tanner Holmes win? We got welfare checks for Dr. Midnight. We got a welfare check for Jim from Buffalo when the Sabres lost. I think Dr. Midnight's pretty consistent with it. I think he understands that Tanner Holmes had a good night. Now we'll see if it continues. Is this going to be a one-off, or is this team going to start contending more, which is what I want to see. You can't just win one night and then that's it. We want more consistent runs now, which is the expected progress of a team like that. I think it's laughable that people want to blame the car all the time. in that situation because I think the 13 has speed and it's won high limit races with 3 different drivers. I don't think that's an accident. So I think it's funny when Tanner doesn't do, and look, I have nothing against Tanner Holmes. I talked to him at the Grove when he was in. I just wanted to obviously see more performance. So I'm a wait and see on him. It's not like when I see Jet Barnes, who I'm sold on Jet Barnes. It's just, and he has the best name in sprint car racing, other than Steel Powell out at Marysville. But, you want to see progress. You want to see a guy continue to do well, and that it just wasn't a one-night thing. There's this old saying, anybody can hit a home run, but that doesn't make you a home run hitter. So we'll see how he does. I'm anxious to see how he does this weekend. I guess he's going to Skagit. It's in his wheelhouse. He has a lot of laps at Skagit. So anxious to see how the rest of the year goes. A welfare check. That's funny, Chase. When Holmes runs bad, it's the car. When he wins, it's all him. Yeah, you can't have it both ways. Now, I also think it's laughable for people to blame that car for everything. I think it's equal. You got to have a good car, and he did a great job. Look, Tanner Holmes did a great job that night. I'm not taking anything away from him. I did a 90 at 9 on it. I meant every word of it. But you got to continue. You got to continue to build on it. And I think Tanner Holmes knows that. Does anybody know if Marks ran out of fuel at the finish line at Knoxville? He talked about that he was running low at the line. So I would say yes. What a great race, by the way. Knoxville was a fantastic race. What happened to the regular NARC announcer, Brad Kennedy, I think is his name. Maybe somebody else can answer. I think the guy that is doing it, I think he's always does the races up through Oregon and all the way up through to Skagit. I think. I'm not sure on that. I can't remember back to last year on announcers. But just that's what I thought. I thought the same guy did it last year, but I'm not 100% sure, Will. Do tracks have any protection for lost revenue on rainouts? I know they have insurance. Does it cover lost revenue? You can get an insurance policy on an event. I mean, the Williams Grove had, I don't know if they still do, but I would assume they had insurance policy on the National Open. Now, I don't know the makeups of those policies, how much they get. Does it just cover costs? I don't know that. But I do know there's insurance policy. You can get insurance on an event. Now, again, don't know what the payout is. That could depend on the premium. But they have it. Seems like quite a few people think Pursley isn't going to last in the 9. Thoughts on that? I feel like Casey won't have a quick leash knowing it is basically a brand new team. I'm split on that. I think I agree with you. I don't think it'll be a quick hook, but you can't keep wrecking cars. I think that's the caveat to that. You can't. Casey doesn't like bent up equipment. You can't be running, 22nd, 20th, or wherever back there and junk a car. That makes no sense. And I think he knows that. So I think if he wrecks a lot of equipment, I think a change can be made. It looked good at Huset's last night. If he can start having better finishes, I think he'll be fine. So I think it depends. I think it's yet to be determined. Jeremy, what is the name of the PA announcer who says hello? It's Dave Hare. I think he's one of the best announcers in the sport. Actually, I had dinner with him before Lincoln the other day. Good, just a good guy. I like his announcing style, and I do. I think he's one of the best. Does a lot of research in the pit area before the races, kind of like Bruce Ellis did that. He was another one who did that. So he's a good mix of old and new, I think. Do season ticket holders get reimbursed for any cancellations? No. I think if a track wants to be nice and after a certain point, maybe you get a refund. I've never heard of a refund on it. So no, it's buyer beware. Any high limit cars going to Huset? Tyler Courtney, Gio Selzy, Chase Randall, I expect to be there. Don't know about Cy Lynch. I know Rico, Reitzel, Marks, Tanner Holmes, Justin Peck, all going to Super Dirt Cup. Not sure about Danny Sams. I don't think he'll go to either. Cy Lynch, don't know if he'll go to either. I could see them running other races this weekend or going home to regroup. But right now, I think Tyler Courtney, Gio Selzy, Chase Randall. I might be missing one. Good to see Jet Barnes get his first 410 win. Jason Myers Racing will steer him in the right direction, performing his racing career. Agreed. I think you got to be in a good situation. Obviously, he is 15 years old. I think the sky's the limit. I think he's the next big thing to come out of California. If I was a team or really in any discipline, I would get on that train quick and sign him to something. Looks really good, and obviously it helps having that connection to Jason Myers. But Corey Day is really the only one who's run well in that car. So Jet Barnes looks pretty good. Let's hit the like button, everyone. I appreciate that. Kind of think Jason Myers sets car up for Corey Day, and he's learning to drive that setup before he gets any bad habits. Yes, Barnes looks good. I think Barnes looks really good. I don't know the inner workings. I know Noisy's still there, Shane Bowers. I would think since he's the crew chief, he has a lot of influence over any setup. Shane's a good guy, quiet guy. Kind of a good guy to have as a crew chief. He's not going to yell and scream at a kid. So I think it's good demeanor. So I think that's probably good for Jet Barnes. And we'll see how he does tonight. If somebody can give an update, of course, it's only 5:00 out there, so I don't know when their time trials go off, but I'm sure we'll still be on air. So, what are your thoughts on Gage Polkerbeck? He seems to be a moving roadblock. You know, I'm going to use a reference to Central Pennsylvania this week. I've recently believed there should be more handicap shows. I was always a time trial guy, and Wade Knoxville does it. And there were some guys this week at Lincoln, and I'm getting your question, who don't start up front ever, and they crashed because they didn't know what to do. It was now Polkerbeck shouldn't be on the road learning that. I'd like to see Polkerbeck run the All-Stars. I'd like to see Paige Polkerbeck run Power I. I'd like to see Paige Polkerbeck run a regional series, IRA. Learn to race. Don't learn to race at a high limit and the World of Outlaws. I don't think running 20th or missing A mains, making 20% of the shows or 25% of the shows, I don't think that's a good way to learn. I'd like to see Gage Polkerbeck, to really see him develop. If that he's trying to develop, he's trying to show them he can run their series, be a platinum member with the Outlaws, or be a high roller with or whatever they're calling the guys going for the season point fund. I want to see. That's not the way to do it. I want to see him run All-Stars. He'd be great to run All-Stars. Meaning that's where you develop. You get a little series racing. You're running against like talent, or IRA or something like that. I just think whoever's advising him, advise him differently. Yes, he has made some mistakes as being a lap car, and it's not good. Then you get labeled and you're done. That's why I think he's got to learn to race. Super Dirt Cup pays the same to start as Huset's on Saturday. It's a good purse. It's a good purse. Deep dive with Lincoln's virtual flagman. That's funny. That's good. I like that. Doug got his first 2026 and first career win Saturday. Today I posted the Posse fan question of the week asking what driver would be next for their first 2026 or first career win. Your thoughts? Buddy Schweibens. I wouldn't be surprised if Buddy Schweibens wins in. Now, if it's Westbrook's car, I don't know. You might have to resuscitate me just because I couldn't handle when he was running out because I like John. And I know he's dealt with a lot of motor trouble, to say the least. But I do think Buddy Schweibens, at BAPS, he went 14th to 7th. And really, I thought he got jobbed a little bit on a call. They had an instance. See, we've gotten two because somebody crashed and all these cars piled in. Well, they gave him their spot back. If you hit the crash, you don't get your spot back. If you spin it before the crash, then you get your spot back. They've turned this sport into one big judgment call, and Buddy Schweibens had to pass these cars again. So I thought that was wrong, but I like what I see from him. I think John's car's holding together. So I think Buddy Schweibens could be that guy. By the way, I believe you emailed me. I didn't get back to you. I apologize for that. I'll gladly give you my picks for the local tracks. Just send me another email. Could some of the efficient issues at Lincoln lately, due to systems change, slowness of race director, or something else, two-division show ending Olympia isn't a good thing? Yeah, none of that's good. And the worst part is I don't think Lincoln addresses it, to be honest, because it never changes. They weren't too bad this past weekend with the late model deal, but they only had 22 cars. Yeah, you got to correct all those things. People won't come to your Speedway if it continues. It's plain and simple. It's not hard. All you have to do is look at your grandstand. And I looked at the grandstand last week, and it was meek. It was meek. So, doesn't lie. What's up with Brendan Mullen? Having Jade Hastings drive his car at Huset is interesting to me on a NOSA level. Yeah, I saw Chaz talk about him last night. Again, need to see more. I'm more impressed with Andy Pake, honestly. Not really sure why that's taking place. Maybe Brendan Mullen's just getting out of it. I'm not sure. That's something I'll look into when I get to Huset's. Dietz, Danny Dietrich, and other travelers got a lucky break with Bedford raining out. Car count was looking small too. Do you think Path Valley gets a good car count Sunday? Danny Dietrich's not running the series, so I don't think it's getting lucky. I don't think he cares about the series. I think he's done with the series. At least that's what he says. Now, whether he follows through on it, Your guess is as good as mine. Chase Dietz, he planned on that being a mulligan, so I don't think it's a big deal. I think I haven't memorized the schedule. I mean, he's going to miss. I think he's going to miss one for the Knoxville Nationals. Obviously, Knoxville Nationals week. I just don't think it. So I think he has his mulligans planned out. What do I think the car count's going to be at Path Valley this week? I don't know if Danny comes back through in races. It could depend on how Ohio Speed Week goes. He'll be at Wayne County now on Saturday night. Does he hustle back to get to Path Valley? I wouldn't. If I wasn't running the series, I wouldn't. I'd say they're going to get 29 cars. I'll say 29. 28, 29. Who would have thought that Brent Marks and Danny Dietrich only have one win between them this far into the season? Well, Danny Dietrich has 2 wins. Took Marks 36 races. Actually, that's my 90 at 9 tomorrow with a little bit of atomic news. Marks is the surprising one. I think I talked to some people, on the regular, and one of the big surprises of the season was how poorly Brent Marks was doing. Well, it's not anymore. And it's not just like 3 races. He's on a pretty good heater. Be interested to see how he does at Skagit because he hasn't won out there. I think his best finish is 4th. And I'm really interested in that. As for Danny Dietrich, I think he wins the Ohio Speed Week title still. I don't know what's going on right now. If anybody wants to give updates on the All-Star race at Wayne County, please do. We'll announce it. We'll announce it. I still think Danny's still consistent. He can drive through fields. I still think he wins the title. I don't even think he needs to win a race to win that title. So Danny will be fine. I joined the show late. Any Macri updates? Missed the exciting racing. I personally feel he'll be back for Pennsylvania Speed Week. I don't know if he was cleared by his doctor yet. I'm sure he probably needs to get that done. That's just a guess by me. The time frame works from when the injury occurred, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I know Casey's done in the car for now, so the car's waiting for Anthony. Is what I mean. Is the 57 running at Huset's Wednesday and Thursday? I have no idea. I know he said he's going to race a lot more in June, so I wouldn't be surprised. It's not his best track. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's there, but I don't know for sure. Kyle's schedule is kind of hush-hush until the last minute. And sorry, guys, I've been running around today trying to get stuff done. I'm still behind. Shot the podcast. I got to write some stuff. Got to do the top 50. It's going to be a long night and getting packed and everything else. So I apologize for that. I haven't been online or been calling a lot of people today just to get things done. But I wouldn't be surprised if he rolls in Wednesday and Thursday. How about them Carolina Hurricanes? I said in 6. I think people correct me if I'm wrong. I think I said Carolina in 6. I think after game 3, Carolina looked like Carolina. It's almost like they less shots by Vegas, kept them out of the middle, kind of negated their speed a little bit. The Carolina line started to get rolling, especially that 3rd and 4th line. Jordan Stahl was magnificent. He won the Conn Smythe. I think Rod Brindamore, I was surprised by this. I didn't know he is the winningest coach from like 2016. I would have never guessed that. I would have thought Bednar out of Colorado or maybe what's his name down in Tampa Bay. He was the Olympic coach for Team Canada. I would have thought it would have been one of them, but it's Brindamore. And I think pulling Anderson and putting Bussy in, which Brandon Bussy was a great story, fantastic story. I I think for those last 3 games, he pitches a shutout. He's I wouldn't say a journeyman. It just took him forever to get to the NHL. He's playing in Chicago in the AHL playoffs. So I thought it was magnificent the way Brendan Moore coached that series. They made adjustments, and they started playing the way Carolina's played all year, and then it was over. Heats just started at Wayne County. If anybody has any qualifying results, let us know. Danny Dietrich timed 7th in Flight B. That's actually good for him at Ohio Speed Week. What are the odds that tonight's show goes OT like last week's? Jeremy has playoff hockey in mind. No, it will not tonight. I got to tape a 90 at 9. I got to work on my top 50 and get some other stuff done. So no, it will not go until 10 o'clock tonight. I will not allow that. Unless a bunch of people are on. Jeremy, I think you should help out the local tracks. Think you got a lot of good ideas. I appreciate that, but if they can't listen, I mean, I do this for a living, so unless they pay me, I'm sorry, I got to eat too. And there's been some drastic changes lately from pay-per-view. That's been a big hit. So they can listen. All they have to do is listen, but our local tracks, some of the people who run our local tracks, I just think, look, they think they can do it better, and good for them. Good for them. I'm not always right, though, admittedly. Caleb Henry, fast time overall at Wayne County. Not surprised. Ryan has him tonight. Where was Cap Henry? I have Cap Henry tonight. I couldn't get Caleb Henry. We picked this race actually last week. It's the last one of the week. We did not pick the NARC race tonight. Ryan had enough. Cale Thomas won Heat 1. Thank you. Only 20 cars tonight in the NARC race, second night at Alma. That's surprising. I think one of the big stories for NARC has been the car count. Joseph Terrell has done a fantastic job working on these notebooks and stuff from out there. He mentioned the car count being up this year as opposed to other years. Good for them. I like the fastest 5 days. I think it's a good deal going up through all the way to Skagit. It's a swing I like. Gives me something to talk about, and NARC's never short on that. So I'm glad the car count's been good, and I think it's been one of the things. Now tonight, not so good. I don't know if people it's a weekday night. You're up in Washington. People got to go to work, so on and so forth. One thing I've never liked with Dirt Vision is the annoying info bar on the bottom of the screen. Wish they would take it off when all racing is happening, not just the A-Main. What's your opinion? I don't really, I'm so focused on what's going on. I don't really even, it doesn't bother me. But hey, I think it's always good to listen to your customers. It's always good to listen to your customers. I would reach out to them, send them an email or whatever, and address it. I mean, be nice about it. Don't, I think if you don't give them feedback, they don't know, and maybe they don't get ideas. But I got to listen to your customers. That's why from now until next Sunday, I guess I can say this now, we're offering 20% off on SprintCarUnlimited.com. You can get an annual subscription for $28 if you use the coupon code HIGHBANK2026. Just capitalize the H and the B. HIGHBANK2026. You get 20% off SprintCarUnlimited.com annual subscription. So instead of $35, you're only paying $28 now through Sunday after the High Bank Nationals. That's my shameless plug. Prediction for Ohio Speed Week champion this week, Danny Dietrich. I'm sticking by it. I said it last week, and I'm going to stick with it. Not going to change now. Huset at Port has always been one of my favorite events to go to, especially the Silver Crown cars. You know, it's funny. I hear more about Silver Crown cars here than I do the USAC Sprint cars. It seems people really like the Silver Crown cars. When they were at the Grove, that was a successful show, more than I thought it would be. And Port, I hear a lot of people like Silver Crown there. So that's interesting you say that, because I hear more positive things about the Silver Crown cars. Is anyone taking over Hartlob's old ride, or are they closing shop? They're teaming up with Logan Rumsey. So Logan Rumsey will be in that car. Your choice for Outlaws or High Limit in 2027, Barnes or Holmes? You mean Barnes replacing Holmes? Or what? I'm not really sure what you're asking me there. Your choice for Outlaws or High Limit in 2027, Barnes or Holmes? Clear that up a little bit for me, Lauda. Sorry, I'm not really sure what you're asking me. Levi Hillier and Austin Wood are also young Cali drivers to watch. Yeah, well, Levi Hillier's up in the Northwest. I like Austin Wood. Looks pretty good. Levi Hillier, like him as well. Picked him. Didn't do me many favors last night. He finished 11th, but we'll see how he does when he gets home to Skagit. But no, like both of them. Be interesting to see how they progress as well. But Jet Barnes, that's where I'm. You know, who would you put in your car? Oh, Jet Barnes. Jet Barnes. The upside is off the charts. Jet Barnes. Jeremy won't admit the cartel is pulling shenanigans. I didn't say that. I actually said I didn't agree with the scoring issues and don't believe they're mistakes. So, no, that is not true. You're wrong. The CJB5 is starting to pick up the pace. Is Crouch figuring out, or did they make a crew change? They Heath Moyle's now in that car. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I don't know what. Is it just a string of races? Is it Heath Moyle is better with Brenham Crouch than Tyler was? I don't know. The performance has made an uptick. I think he might be going out west as well. Not 100% sure, but I don't know. It just seems like it's like Marks. And I said this in my 90 at 9, which you didn't hear yet, is don't tell me he picked up 10 positions a night because of shocks. He switched shocks 4 times this year back and forth. And people want to point to shocks. They want to point. He switched shocks before this year. It didn't pick up 10 spots. He's picking up, from his average, he's picked up 10 spots. Things just start clicking sometimes. Or you stumble on a setup that works. Or I was talking to Ryan Hand about this on our show, which Ryan Hand's great at this because he worked on cars for years and years and years. He was with Greg Hodnett. And I asked him, I said, does shocks make, he goes, yeah, shocks make a difference, but 10 spots a night? Now, I'm not saying he's illegal. Nobody say that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's more than just that. So I think CJB, is it a honeymoon stage? Is it because guys go through that? We'll have to wait and see how he does this week and moving forward. The sample size still isn't big enough. Heath Moyle moved to the CJB5. Yes, he did. Devin Borden wins Heat 2. Nice. All right. Heat 2, Borden, Brewer, Hampton, late. I assume that's Leighton Wagner. Thank you for the update. Appreciate it. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on the 4-time Knoxville track champion high school prep sports standout Austin McCarl? What is in regard to what? What are you asking me? Thoughts on him? I think he's good at Knoxville. He sat in the pole of the Nationals. That's good. Got to win more races. He hasn't won an outlaw race yet, and I think there's been 167 starts, something like that. He's got to win more races. You know, it's plain and simple. Some insight onto the Polkerback deal. Wu denied his app for platinum status. Yes, I said that last week. He also has a deal with High Limit, so it's not all on him. He has a deal with High Limit, yes. And I get, but I still wouldn't do it. I don't think it's always good to learn by running 18th every night. You're not gaining quality laps. I know the Outlaws wouldn't accept his platinum membership. Like I said, I talked about that last week. But I still think he should be running All-Stars. I still think it would be better off or better served for his career to be running those other series. I think that he'd get better quality laps. It's not a slight on him. I mean, I would say that about guys here. Cameron, I'd say that about Jet Barnes. I think Jet Barnes is getting quality laps with NARC, running against Justin Sanders, James McFadden, running against Dominic Gordon, Neto, all those guys, and I think they're quality laps. It prepares you to run national. Hell, he could run here, and I think it'd be better. Pretty empty last night in Washington. Yeah, I did not watch it because I wasn't staying up till 2 a.m. Okay, but it looked like the crowds were decent. You know, it was decent before that in the Oregon races and whatnot. So take the good with the bad. Jeremy, what's up with the 33 car of Gerard McIntyre Jr. not racing Port Royal lately when the car is a block away from the track? Also, will Chase Dietz do double duty at Port for USAC race? I would imagine Chase Dietz would do that. As for McIntyre, he's not running full time at Port. I think they're running some series races. I think they're more focused on that right now. And it is a little surprising not to see that car in the pit area at Port Royal, but from what I gather, they weren't running full time at Port Royal this year. Team decision. Rank 1 through 3 on these. Nick's gonna get me killed. Knicks championship, Hurricanes championship, or Holmes' first national tour win. You have the order right there. As far as, look, I don't watch basketball. It's tough to watch now because everybody complains to the officials every freaking possession. And I don't like it's a 3-point shooting contest. I don't like that a team can have a 29-point lead and it's so bad they can't hold on to it because of the way the game's changed. But in level of importance and what it means to the sports world, you have the order right there. So if you would have put money on one to win first in their current ride, who would it have been, Pursley or Holmes? When is the panic time in silly season if KKR doesn't get the victory lane? I would have put it on Pursley, and I would have been wrong. I would have been wrong. admittedly. When does that panic start? Look, they went through this. They've been through this before. This isn't like, oh my God, new. I mean, they built a new team with Brad when they brought Brad in. Now, I'm not comparing Pursley to Brad Sweet. I mean, that's kind of dumb to do. But I think it depends on what happens here. I mean, if cars keep getting wrecked, it's going to be a problem. That's not going to go over well. But I don't think he's on the hot seat yet. But I would have picked Pursley, and I wouldn't have picked either of them to win in the first half of the year. Because I said at the beginning of the year, Pursley, there's going to be a learning curve. It's going to take a while. So I don't. I would have been wrong. What was up with the Flow broadcast from Lincoln on Saturday? I have no idea. Weren't they switching back and forth? Were they switching back and forth or what? I don't know what the deal was. You'll have to tell me. Look, pay-per-view at this point. It's not on my. I mean, I know about it, but I don't know what happened at Lincoln Saturday. I don't know if they did a split show. So where else is Danny Dietrich going to race if he doesn't run the series? That's just Danny heated in the spur of the moment. He will be at the majority of them. Yeah, I think he'll be at the majority of them, but I don't think he's going to bust his ass to get to Pat Valley. I don't think he's going to. I think he'll skip a series race at Lincoln and go somewhere else, or maybe he'll go to the beach. I just don't think he's going to kill himself to get to the series races. But yeah, he'll still be at the majority of them. But I question whether he'll be at all the ones at Lincoln. Port Royal, he has a sponsor up there. It's a little different. So I don't know. And, drivers lie and have a tendency to lie. Whether he does, I don't know. We'll see how it pans out. And rainouts, I'm sure, will have play a role in it. I think rainouts could play a role in how many guys run full time. So we'll see. Heat race 3 results. Danny Dietrich, Spitaler, PPM, Cap Henry, Cody Bova. There you go. Thank you very much, Eric. Hang on a second. Getting a text that I have to address. Thank you. What are the odds of me wearing Sprint Car Unlimited merch by Knoxville? Pretty good. It's pretty good if you buy it. I hope to have something by next month. There's a deal that came out. I've been working on a deal that could get me some merch or get me something at a cheaper price. And it's dealing with a company that I've dealt with before. So we'll see. I'll have more information next week, hopefully. Everyone is forgetting that Pursley has very little experience in Wing 410, but he won a couple races last year. I understand and I get that. And I agree with you, Lance, but I'm not worried about Pursley. The problem with that is you have Pursley who, needs more seasoning, and you need a crew chief who has more seasoning. It's not an easy spot to be in. I'm not blaming. It's how much does Casey want to wait it out? And I think that's determined by cracked up race cars. So, yes, Pursley could use more experience, but he has a couple high limit wins. It's how he got that ride. I think Pursley's a winner. He's won in everything he's gotten in, but he has 136 410 sprint car starts. It's not like he doesn't have starts. He has 136. So I can't let it off the hook that easy. Will Chloe the cat be doing the 90 at 9 again soon? People probably wish she would. You never know. You know what I thought about doing? I thought about, instead of my face, I thought about doing historical people. Like, I don't know, Napoleon or Winston Churchill. I thought about, and then of course my cat, or so I thought about it, but I don't want to be too goofy. So I mean, it'd be funny to me, but I don't think it'd be funny to other people. But you never know where Chloe's going to make an appearance. What do you think of Lincoln going to start motocross racing? I can only go by what I know. I think they're only going to have one race this year. I don't know about pulling up all that grass. I do know a couple fans that sat down there said they will not come back now. That's a problem. Will it work? I don't know. I don't know how popular motocross is. You know, I don't know how popular it is in this area. So that's tough. That's tough for me. I would not have done it. I would have kind of worked on some other things first, but we'll see how it works out. I mean, look, stranger things have happened. That is only 2 years worth of races. It is only 2 races, but he's won already. Like, I mean, it's been bad this year. And again, I'm not saying he should be fired. That's not what I'm saying. I still think Persley's going to be a good driver. I do not think it's a failure. I don't think Casey should fire him. That's not me talking. I just think it's you got to decide what the threshold is as far as cracked up race cars, performance. And I can't answer that. Only Casey can answer that. He's the car owner. I think they need to perform better at some point in the year. And I've said the first half of the year is going to be tough. I think they will be better in the second half of the year, and I'm going to stand by that. I'm not going to change my tune now. But it's not like he has 40 starts. Okay? He has triple that. So I understand why people are saying what they do, but would I give up on Jason Persley? Absolutely not. I would absolutely not give up on him. Is there any lingering bad blood over the pay-per-view fiasco? Can't blame you if there is. No, look, I am not happy about it. I don't agree with it, but it's not going to change how I report on the sport. If you screw up, you screw up. I'm going to say it. If you don't screw up or you do something like Baps last week, I talked very favorably about Baps on a 90 at 9 last week about their $5 night. I thought it was a great promotion. I think they did a great job. So I can't let that affect how I report on the sport, and I won't. So while bad blood, there's some things that I didn't like how it went, and I thought it was wrong how it went down, but will it affect how I talk about these tracks or how I feel about decisions that are made? No. I'm either going to like it or I'm not. And the proof is last week. I was very complimentary of Baps. And if a track does something good, I'm going to say it'll be good. If it's something bad and I think it's bad, I think it's bad. Jeremy, your thoughts on McFadden going from national tour standout to cartel henchman regional series? Well, first off, he moved back to Australia. So it's not like he was demoted or anything. Okay, let's clear that up first. He went back to Australia. The plan was to go back to Australia because his wife works in the medical profession over there. His kid going to school, so on and so forth, and he wanted him to go to school in Australia. So let's not kid yourself. McFadden didn't get demoted. He's still a good driver. As I was really surprised that he said what he said over the microphone, because James really doesn't say stuff like that very often. And I can't answer why that is. I don't know. I mean, henchman. Okay, henchman sounds like he's walking around with a sickle. Okay. I'm not going to go that far. What happened to Corey Elias? I think he's working in his business in Indianapolis. I don't know. Racing wise, it's been a no-go. I haven't seen anything. So I think he's probably working in his business, and I know he's busy there. Over under for the rest of the week, McFadden making contact with Mitri Car. I'm going to say it's under. I heard there was a discussion last night. Joseph Terrell, I think he's going to have something in a notebook tomorrow, and I heard it was a good discussion. So I'm going to say the under on that. Taking the under. Heat 4 results: Jacobs, Malcutt, Sabo, Scott, Street. Thank you very much. You need to do a where are they now segment. Got to figure out where they're at. That actually not a bad idea. Sugar Bear, I don't think McFadden took out Sanders the other night. Sorry, that's not how I saw it. I looked at it as a racing incident. I didn't think that was, look, I just didn't see it that way. You want to talk about the scoring and all that? Yeah. Funny business. I didn't think McFadden took him out. Last night, I didn't watch the race. I wasn't staying up till 2 o'clock. Uh-oh. What happened there? He's giving me the 1 minute sign. He's probably working on the other show. He's moonlighting. Your first, where are they now? Can be Tyler Walker. Ooh. Colorado, didn't he do a video about going for some shot or some medication he was on a plane, I guess, with his dog, and I'm not going to LA to find him. I'll tell you that now. Mitri sitting out tonight. Okay. Madsen is a few points away from dropping to 8th with a big gap to 9th. Will one of the high limit young guns get hot and bump him out? No. I think McFadden will definitely, or McFadden, Madsen will definitely make top 8. I think he'll make the top 8. Whereas the Cowman 2 car been this year, I think nowhere. I think I might be done. Might be done. Jeremy, if Tanner Holmes didn't have a YouTube channel, would he still have this opportunity? See, Book is an old guy. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I don't know if Book hired him because of that. I don't think Book hired him because of YouTube. Because Book, I don't think, cares about that stuff. Book doesn't even really deal with social media. He's an old school guy. I think maybe he talked to people, maybe Ty Wolfgang, who worked with Tanner Holmes at Knoxville. I'm just guessing. I don't think it has anything to do with YouTube. I know that's the sexy thing to say, but I don't think his YouTube deal matters at all for Book. That's why I said I think if he doesn't win or if he doesn't perform well, I think he could. I think it could end, but I don't know. Now somebody said Book's on social media more than you think. Is it Facebook? I rarely see him. Of course, he blocked me, I guess, or whoever. He doesn't run his own account, I don't think. From what I hear, he does not run his own Twitter account. Now, Facebook, I can't answer that. I don't go on that toxic platform other than to put stuff up and leave. I'm getting the 1 minute sign again. This modified mallet thing, I don't know. Only 20 cars are signed in so far for NARC show tonight at Grays Harbor. Yep, we already got that. The modified show is wrapped. I'm just wondering how many people in the sprint car world have blocked you. I can't answer that. I don't really reach out to people on social media too often. So I just know if I tag somebody and it says you can't tag them, then I know they're blocked. How's the eye, Jeremy? 85% better. I got these drops. They're like these high-powered steroid drops. And they said I got to now taper down off of them. So I don't know what would happen if I didn't. They're supposed to be, but it was really good. It changed. It did its job. So I'm very thankful that I made the decision to go to an eye doctor instead of my family doctor or the emergency room. And it was, what do you do in that spot? So yes, I am on steroids. Sugar Bear, I am on steroids. But no, it's been great. It's been great. Is it going to help my vision past where I was? Probably not. So, but it's good. I'm glad I was able to get cleared up. I was worried there for a while. Maybe I'm allergic to racing. Where are they now? First guest should be Kenny Adams. No, Kenny Adams should be a deep dive. I'm starting to like that idea, though, the where are they now? It's a good deal. So happy for Doug Hamaker. No one more deserving than Sandy Klein, who does so much, and Doug, who has worked so hard. He's been strong all year. First of many, I think. We'll see. But he has looked better. Look, he's improved his average finish 7 spots. All I want to see is progress. So Jeremy will be tested at all tracks. Oh, come on. They don't test anybody now. It will make Jeremy ineligible for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think I could do that all on my own without steroids. But no, just real quick, back to Doug Hamaker. Look, anytime you improve your, each year to year, I'm good with it. Then just so we have progress. Sorry, I didn't finish my thought. The steroids kicked in. If there's any NASCAR driver not named Kyle Larson that you think could get it and win a 410 sprint car race, might be a Lance DeWeese question. Are you talking a show at Lernerville, or are you talking a high limit or World of Outlaws event? None for a sanctioned series. None. A local show at maybe a field that Corey Day's already done it. I don't count him. I don't think so. Maybe at a lower level. More likely to win another, Holmes or Hamaker? 2 different fields. A lot different fields. Christopher Bell already did it. You can't count guys who've already done it. Man, that might be a push. Boy, that's a tough one. Give me a little bit to think about that. Give me about 10 minutes to think about that. That's damn you, Lauda. That's like go to a couple other questions. I'll give you an answer then. I promise. Let me think about it. Jeremy, what is up with the trend of all the sprint car drivers saying fifth grade cuss words whenever interviewed? I don't know. I just don't get it. I never understood it. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one either. I'd say I'm still on the Holmes Haymaker thing. We got a lot of time trial shows coming up. I'm going to say Tanner Holmes is more likely than Haymaker right now. So I'll say Tanner Holmes. We don't have a lot of handicap shows. We're coming into a stretch. Get past this week. You have Speed Week shows. Then you get, God, yeah, it's going to be tough for Haymaker. Oh, Lance said Holmes. I would agree. Tanner has time better lately. All right. Jeremy, real questions. Do tracks consult meteorologists for weather insight during events, or is it just some guy looking at a radar? No, they'll check with the National Weather Service sometimes. It depends on the track. I've heard of tracks. Okay, for us, it's State College. State College is where the National Weather Service is. They have checked there. I don't think it happens enough, but yeah, it does happen. I'm getting a 1 minute sign again. Eric, what are you doing? Phones. Okay, we got phones now. We got phones for a half hour per Eric. John on line 1. John, how are you?
Good, real good this week, Jeremy. You knew that you were going to get a call from me because my boy out there, Tanner Holmes. I think he's
John. Okay,
you're a little bit closer.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm the Tanner Holmes fan.
That's right. Okay, go ahead.
Now, you got to admit that he did a heck of a job out there.
I've admitted it 3 times. I'm not against Tanner Holmes. Are you there, John?
No,
You didn't.
It wasn't one of those start on the pole, get the lead on a rubber down track, everyone went
Right.
single foul. It wasn't one of those deals. Did you watch the race?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then you know. I don't need to tell you.
No, I did a whole 90 at 9 on how he earned it.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, you looked like you were in pain a little bit when you were saying it. I mean, yeah, I did hear you say that.
I have nothing against Tanner Holmes. He's nothing.
Well, he just seems that he can't make any forward steps there with you.
Okay. I'm not going to wave a pom-pom.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, what are you going to think when he wins the second? You told him he's only going to win one, so I guess he's done for the year.
I said at the beginning of the year that I thought he could win one.
Well, I think he can win more than one. Remember, I told you that.
How many?
Well, wait till he gets to Skagit. He'll win at least 2 because he's going to win 1 out there on the West Coast.
Okay, so now you got a wager. Okay, so what are we going to bet?
All right.
What are we betting that he? Because I don't think he wins at Skagit. So okay, what are we batting?
I don't know. It'll be Skagit.
Well, that's where he's
also
going.
I think he's going to Skagit, but I think he's going to run another one out there somewhere. Where was it? I forget now. Oh,
because he's got to come back and go to Big Sky after that.
Yeah. Well, he'll probably win one at the Grove.
What? Now you're talking silly.
Hey, now I'm telling you, that's a good cause. I've seen it lead races at Eldora.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it lead just about every track. So it was one of the three different drivers that's been in lately.
Yeah, Justin Peck.
But I did not know. Well, Peck had the worst luck ever. I mean, if there was a wreck, he was always in it.
Yeah.
But no, I think he's going to be good. I really do. Now, he's not an overnighter, that's for sure. But he's going to be okay. He's like ninth, I think, in the points now.
Yeah.
So, he's come back home. Oh, I wanted to ask you about one more thing. We were talking, I was talking mostly about the guy or whoever's taking over for the HP engine building deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got a name, but I don't know if I want to say it. I don't know.
I will not confirm or deny.
Oh, okay. Well, has a little bit of something to do with KC.
I will not confirm or deny.
That's fair. We'll wait and see because I could have gotten bad information. You never know. So
Yeah.
That's what I heard from a source. They didn't say KC. They said a connection to KC. I don't know. Who's his engine builder, by the way?
HP.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what happens. Jay, I just wanted to pass that along.
All right, John. Thank you very much.
Fair show. Thank you.
Yep. Take care.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I don't know where people got this idea that I don't like Tanner Holmes. I talked to him at the Grove. He was nice and had a nice conversation. I'm not going to one win. I'm not going to say you're Steve Kinzer. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that with Buddy Kofoid. I wouldn't do that with David Gravel. I wouldn't do that. We'll see how he does. Look, he had a great run, did a good job, gave him his flowers, rode a 90 at 9. Okay, now we got to do more. It doesn't end. Since Jeremy picked Holmes, Hammaker is going back-to-back at Port. There you go. Hey, Doug's a nice guy. Look, I've talked to Doug. I like Doug. It's been a struggle for Doug. Last year was tough. I think bringing in a crew chief definitely helped him. And again, I like seeing the improvement. Hit the like button. Yes. Thank you very much. Where are they now? Dan Motter. Good one. Good one. Be a nice little segment for the website. Where are they now? French Grimes. Guys, that's a really good idea. That'd be a good thing to add to either YouTube and or the website. Thank you very much. Whoever came up with that. Jeremy, be careful with the dust of Huset's getting into your eye. I'll be in the infield, so I'll be okay. Where are they now? Cody Dara. Who wins next, Holmes or Schatz? Schatz. Where are they now, Chaz? I know where Chaz is. What was the issue with Gravel qualifying on Saturday night? I don't know. It rained out. Boy, think of the 2 breaks that David Gravel has gotten this year. And by no means was it crooked or anything. The first race of the year wasn't a points race, which has been the case since they took that practice night away. And he was in a crash. And then Saturday night at Knoxville. It would be interesting because he probably takes a provisional. And I would say hard charger, very possible, maybe gets up to 10. Let's give him a 10th place finish, and then let's count the first race of the year. I think that would be interesting. But, hey, you got to catch breaks sometimes, and they caught one. I expect them to qualify better this week. Jeremy, is Holmes the most overrated sprint car driver in history? Oh, no. Has anyone else had this much hype before? I don't think he's the most hyped that I've seen or overhyped. I'm trying to think back, but it's a different time now, too. You have social media. You have shows like this. You didn't have that years ago. So, but at the track, there were some way overhyped drivers or people who came on the scene and they were billed as, yeah, right there. Sugar Bear, you answered your own question. The Tyler Walker return was way overhyped. And that was on Chaz because he had everybody on that. And look, everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody wants somebody to turn things around. America is the land of second chances, third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances. And people wanted that to happen. And you could see that wasn't going to happen. I mean, Chaz said to me about, oh, you need to cover this. I wasn't touching it because I knew what the end result was going to be. So, yeah, the Tyler Walker the deal last year was way more than Tanner Holmes. Way more. So you answered your own question there. Pete on line 2. Pete, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Not too bad.
Hey, somebody talked about it a little bit earlier, but Crouch and Lynch getting new crew chiefs seems to kind of flow under the radar. But both of them have ran better, seemingly, since it was announced they got new crew chiefs.
Who's crewing on Lynch?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I didn't hear about a crew
mentioned it
chief.
during the broadcast.
Yeah, it could be.
But, well, and I mean, because he had Heath Moyle, right? And Heath is gone
Yes.
now.
Yes,
over
he
to
went to the
Crouch.
5.
Is that correct?
Yes, he went to the CJB car.
Right. But, and you mentioned it could just be kind of the honeymoon phase, but both of them ran better or have ran better. I mean, it's 3 or 4 races now, but still yet.
Look, some people work better together.
Right.
There's something to think about. Paul Silva, Ricky Warner, they were all KKR for a while. They didn't last at KKR.
Mm-hmm.
It's something to think about.
I thought it was interesting how it was quiet. There was no real announcement, which who knows how all that went down, but it was just
I'll
something
tell you how that went down.
They brought up in passing. So,
well, Heath, look, I talked to both guys. Heath didn't really want anything out. Swank was going through health issues when he was let go.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
what and man, we've talked about it a couple of weeks in a row now, but Brent Marks has done something dramatic, it seems like.
He's on fire.
I mean, I don't know how you go from the season he was having to what he's doing right now. It's crazy.
I don't get it. I know, that people are talking about the shocks. Again, shocks he's switched multiple times this year. I think it's more than that. I think it's more than that.
I think so. I mean, Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was just going to say, I just think it's more than that. And his average finish is up 10 spots almost. That's alarming.
I mean, he went from struggling to crack the top 10 in DNFing to, I mean, what was it? Was he like 7 of his 9 races he's been on a podium, and he won an outlaw race at Knoxville?
Yeah, he had 5 runner-up finishes and 7 starts. He had a 12th at Eagle, then he won at Knoxville. So he's on a roll. And, you know, again, it's not like Marks is – I sometimes think Marks doesn't get some of the pub that other guys get. I know I hear people say, oh, well, he had that one good year. He won 44 races in 4 years. It's not like he's a chump. Okay. He has crown jewel wins. He's won the National Open. He's won the King's Royal. The only thing missing is the Knoxville Nationals for a triple crown.
Yeah. And then the way he came out this year was shocking.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I think just as shocking is whatever he has done over the past month, because it's worked. And Fiedler talked about different headers and this and that and configurations of this and possibly a new race card and obviously shocks and all that. But I feel like there's more there. And he talked in a Always Race Day interview about, losing his sponsorship or partnership or whatever they were calling that deal, and it taking some pressure off of him. But boy, I don't know. It's been a big change, and I'm happy to see it for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it makes high limits stronger. I think it's better for sprint car racing the more guys you have running well and being good on a regular basis. Obviously, I think that's good for sprint car racing. So it'll be interesting to see how Marks progresses. Even this weekend, like I said, hasn't always been good at Skagit. I think his highest finish is 4th. So I'll be interested to see if he can kind of keep this rolling against a pretty good field at Skagit.
Definitely. I think, if he continues on like he is now, he's going to start passing some people in points pretty quickly. Because that's the same times he's having really good runs, some people in front of him aren't having great runs.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy. Well, I appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, Pete. I appreciate it.
See ya.
Yep. Take care. All right. Let's start going back to the chat. Jared Goodling is the silent. Okay, thank you. Formerly with Marks until last season. Oh, yeah, Jared was with the team. So Jared moved over from the 5 over to the 42 because he was with the 5 this year. I didn't know he moved over. Thank you. Hot laps coming up for NARC. There we go. Should be a quick show tonight. 20 cars. Do you think the future for Levi Hillier is as bright as most see it, being for Jet Barnes? I think Jet Barnes has a brighter future. I think Jet Barnes is on the fast track. A little more. Any movement on deep dive with Patty Beam? I've not had any movement on that. Working on it. Again, this week got hectic because trying to get everything done, going to Huset's. It was a late decision to go to Huset's. I just felt it was important for the business. Does Cody Hartlob have anything in the works moving forward in the 410s? He has potential to eventually be an elite PA driver. Hartlob told me he has a ride for the Smith race in Pennsylvania Speed Week, and then he said he is working on something for next year already. Now, whether anything happens between then, he said is up in the air. He has nothing lined up at this point. Dash results: Borden, Henry, Thomas, Spinoler, Nida, Dietrich, Jacobs, Malkowit. Which Henry? Is it Cap or Caleb? Caleb. Okay. Next win, Holmes or Williamson? I assume you mean Garrett. Not Callum. Garrett. I think Garrett could steal a pre-limit Huset's. I wouldn't be stunned by that. Who wins first, Hammaker or Sams? Sams has had a rough year. I would say Hammaker. Sams has had a real rough year. I want a sibling rival race. Macedo's, Cadines, Henderson's, Dietrich's. Match races. I like the Macedo's in that because I think Carson's really good. Who hates Holmes? I do not hate Holmes. I can't believe people think you should be a cheerleader. I'm being honest about it. Unless you don't mean me, I don't hate Holmes. I've talked to Holmes. I've had him on the show. I have no problem with Holmes whatsoever. But he doesn't win. Now he can, because he won, he never has to do well again. Is that what you're telling me? That's what we're saying. Never needs to win again. Come on. Borden and Caleb just put on a banger of a dash. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Wayne County produces good racing. It's just dust. It's just, I'll turn that on then. Why do Holmes fans use the word hate? I don't know. I don't hate these drivers. I don't. I call it as I see it. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean I hate the haters. It's such this weird lingo that people have that I don't understand. I don't hate anybody who drives. I respect what they do. He had a great race. Okay. He even said it in Victory Lane. We have a lot of work to do. Where are they now? Beverly Thompson. I know where her grandson is. Mikey Thompson. Will Sprint Car Racing see its second racer win $1 million in a season this year? Somebody's like, okay, Buddy last year made $800 and some $1,000. I think with point money, we could. The problem is, okay, let's say Buddy wins Huset's. Let's say he sweeps it. Okay. It's $450,000. Or really, let's use Buddy and then I'll use Gravel. Okay, let's say Buddy sweeps it, $450,000. He's not really good at Eldora and he's not really good at Knoxville. Those are the other two hammer events that pay a lot of money. Okay, let's say David Gravel. If David Gravel sweeps Huset's, I think it's possible. He's good at Eldora. He's good at Knoxville. And I do think there's going to come a year, and I think it's this year, I think David Gravel wins the Knoxville Nationals this year. All this weird stuff that's happened to him the last few years, wrecking the heat race, just other little things where he's had to come from the back or has a problem on his qualifying night, whether it's engine or crash in the heat race. I think it's got to be David, I don't think they get to $1 million. If you add their point money in, yes, but that's not how it's really measured. So that's really difficult. I know you mentioned it on the 90 at 9, but Holmes announcing that he was staying until the last fan left was nice to see. Good for him putting in that extra time. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good for the sport if any driver does it. I mean, Rico does it a lot. And I think that's a good model to follow. And I know Holmes does stick around for his fans. I do know he does things for his fans. No, it's a good thing. Where will Marks finish in the standings? 4th. I've changed my new information. New information is I think he gets past Tanner Thorson. I think Tanner Thorson is. I said a few weeks ago, Tanner finished 4th. I'm now saying Marks gets. I think Marks could get to 3rd. I think he could get Gio. So because of Marks, there's no reason he can't go on a win streak with high limit. Reitzel and Nico and stuff, but I could see him getting to 3rd. He's not that far out. And I think Tanner Thorson I think Tanner Thorson's 5th. Crouch quick time both nights at Knoxville last weekend. Looks like he did at the end of last year. Yep, we'll see how that if that can keep it going. Heath and him obviously have come out of the gates pretty quick, and we'll see if they continue that. Do you think that certain local wink wink have lost the respect of their fan base? Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no wink wink. I think Lincoln and Williams Grove. I hear it. I hear it from drivers and I hear it from fans. It doesn't need to be a wink wink. I think Lincoln and Williams Grove have some work to do. How many outsiders for Steve Smith race? I think the 41 is a possibility. It's going to be hard for any high limit guys to come from Montana. That's a hike. So I don't think they get there unless they fly in and run another car. I know there was talk of Thorson maybe doing that. I don't know about Outlaws. I'm not sure where they're at that weekend, but I could see the 83 coming in. The 41 I know has talked about it. It'll be interesting. If you were Lincoln or Williams Grove, how would you improve fan relations? Oh, Eric, you suck. I would just make better decisions. I mean, it's better decisions. I think being more transparent, I think being honest about why you're doing certain things, like last week. And look, the Grove had a bad week the week before. And look, you take shots at the Grove for that. You can't start an hour and 44 minutes late with your heat races, but it is an oddity. Williams Grove normally nails their start time. So it's not a regular thing. It's not something that happens all the time. So you kind of give them some grace on that. But I would just say, stop turning comments off on Facebook. It makes it look like you're avoiding things. There's some management things that need changed, I would say, at Lincoln. But is it going to happen? I don't know. Maybe they feel there's not a problem. I would say walk around and start talking to your teams and talking to your customers. But it's definitely a PR problem. How many outsiders oh, you asked me that already. Does Mark Smith own the 17 or is that someone else's car? Not very impressive in that. It's Sean Keane. It's the Keane family. Jeremy, which deep dives had biggest viewership? Lance DeWeese, Kevin Swindell, Mike Hess. Those were the big Lance, and Lance is very. I always like talking to Lance because Lance is very. I don't even know if he's in here anymore. He was on earlier. Lance is very thought out. Lance doesn't think of Lance. Lance thinks of betterment for the sport. Greg Hodnett and him were a lot alike in that respect. And that's hard to find nowadays. Most people look at their whatever's best and self-serving to them. But so Lance is a good guy to talk. Been around for a long time, knows what it takes to be good in these things. So it just kept going and going. And really, it just was like we were talking on the phone. So that was really good. Kevin Swindell was fabulous. Of course, Mike Hess, that's right around the time he got let go from the Outlaws. So that was a good one. There's been a lot of good ones, but those were the most popular. Do you think Gio goes all year without a win, save a preliminary night win at Knoxville? No, I think he wins. At this point in the season, does anyone earn a charter with high limit this year? Well, no, they can't. Madsen would have to finish in the top 8 the next 2 years. Otherwise, you need to finish in the top 3, I believe, and nobody's going to do that. So, no, nobody will earn a charter this year. Have more upside, Holmes or Grasty? Little early on Grasty. I'm going to say Holmes on that one. Only because I don't know if Grasty would ever go on the road. And I think in the California pecking order of guys, or let's just say West Coast, I think Jet Barnes, I think you have Hillier, I think you have guys like that who are probably a notch ahead of Grasty. I like Grasty, though. I like what he's done. I think he's getting faster and faster. Should have won at Santa Maria if the wing doesn't come down, which isn't good for Dom, but it doesn't matter. I just think Holmes running on the road, I do think there's probably a little more upside there. It's just more national attention out there. I think to get attention in California, you need, and I talk about California, but who else really does? And I'm not saying that I'm better. I'm just saying a lot of people don't talk about California. It's on so late. So if you don't leave there, it's kind of hard to get noticed a little bit. I think I like Grasty. In fact, you turned me on to Grasty, and you were right about that one. But I still think Holmes has more upside. He has a high limit win already, even though it's still a win. So I think I'm anxious to see how Chance does when the 2 national series roll through there this year. PA Posse 410 series race charges $30 for general admission. The Grove has 2 Division 410 show for $30. And Port has 410 wing USAC winless and Silver Crown cars. Is the $30 justified for a PA Posse series? No. Because you're seeing the same guys. You're seeing the same guys you do for 25. That's the problem. People keep talking about that. Now, it should be noted, Port Royal's weekly shows are only $20. That's a good price. It's a really good price. So I think, but series-wise, yeah, you're paying for the same guys. It's $30. It's 5 more than what a regular show is. So yeah, I don't. That's a big problem. Clack, Grasty, Hillier, Aton, Starks, top 5 in NARC hot laps. Yeah, Levi Klatt's an interesting one too. Oh God, Sugar's been talking to Chaz. Hope the promoters are listening to this tonight. I don't know if they are. Probably wouldn't be happy if they were. probably wouldn't like some of the things I've said. Just being honest. Have you been keeping up with all of Chase Johnson's progression? Great to see the progress. Yes, we had him on a deep dive. I thought he did very well. I thought it was a good listen. And yes, I have been keeping up with it. And I hope he continues on his recovery and keeps getting better, keeps making progress. Just saw Myers go upside down in All-Star Circuit of Champions. Took 27 seconds for anyone to get to his car in the middle of the track to check on him. Geez, it sure ain't no Knoxville. That's a long time to get to a car. So yeah, no, I agree with you. What did Sugar Bear said? What did he say? $50 for a what did you say? PA Posse should be $50. Are you high? You sound like Chaz. So you hang out with him too much. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much for joining the show. I appreciate it. Stay tuned to SprintCarUnlimited.com all week. I will have coverage from Huset. Joseph Terrell will have coverage from Skagit. We'll have stuff on YouTube. Plenty going on, and we'll be back next week. Stay tuned.